Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem?
Valedictorian,
Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to preside at the graduation exercises for the class of 2019. And this is my 45th year presiding at these exercises, and I couldn't be prouder. Thank you. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce the members of the platform party here, the official family of Pathfinder. On my left, your right, the chairman of the school committee, David Rose from Palmer. Vice chairman and longtime chairman, Mike Kavanaugh from Palmer. Lorraine Alves from Belchertown, the secretary. And Barbara Ray from Ware. And on this side of the platform, Eric Duda, assistant superintendent and principal. Brenda Turner, the director of guidance. And Ryan Regi, the vocational director. Thank you. This year, to bring the greeting of the school committee, I'd like to call on Lorraine Alves from Belchertown, the secretary. Mrs. Alves?
Thank you, Dr. Paste. Welcome, Pathfinder class of 2019. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you, the families and friends of the class of 2019, on this esteemed occasion on behalf of the Pathfinder School Committee. It is because of your encouragement and support that your students chose to attend Pathfinder. It is through your continued support that these fine young men and women will continue on their chosen paths and become contributing members of society. I also extend a warm welcome to the faculty, staff, and administration of Pathfinder. It is because of these dedicated professionals that your students were challenged and inspired to pursue an excellent education that prepared these soon-to-be graduates for their ultimate successes in life. Thank you. After today's ceremony, your talented and skilled students will be able to proudly proclaim that they are alumni of Pathfinder Regional Vocational Technical High School and that they are prepared to make their mark on the world. Thank you. Our next speaker is the Assistant Superintendent Principal, Eric Duda.
Thank you, Mrs. Alves. So class of 2019, I've got a few simple words that I want to share with you, which I hope will impact how you view things and how you've worked hard at Pathfinder. We appreciate you very, very much, and your hard work and your dedication has shown through and through. As much as we are thrilled about the technical skills you've learned here and the robust academics and the combination of those two giving you a competitive advantage, and that being meaningful, we're also really thrilled with how great most of you are as people. All of you are as people. You're hardworking. I'm summing up the class. You're hardworking, you're dedicated, you're passionate, and you try to do your best. And we really appreciate that. And as people, it says a lot about you. You should always try to do your best. And we don't say that enough anymore, do your best. Some good advice in life is to always do your best. Treat others like you want to be treated. And try to pursue your passion, whatever that may be. I think these church bells have impeccable timing. It's actually quite nice. We couldn't have a nicer day for this. Do your best, treat others like you want to be treated, and pursue your passion. If you do those things, it will help you more than you possibly know. I've seen that in most of you, nearly all of you, all the time, every day. The more I've got to know you, I've realized everyone has those skills, everyone has those beliefs. Let those guide you. I have a few stats, and this is quite remarkable. Of your graduating class, attending college or further training, entering the workforce, already has a job in their field of study, entering the military, or is employed. So these are students in your group right now that are moving on. 85% of your group that pertains to. Remarkable. You are part of the solution. As Mrs. Alves had said, you made an excellent choice coming here to get an education that was valuable, and we thank you for making this your home for 4 years. It's been wonderful being your principal. I can't thank you enough. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm going to miss you a lot. So congratulations to the class of 2019. The last thing I will tell you is, don't forget to pay it forward. Your family, your friends, your teachers, the administrators sitting in the front row, everyone that's impacted your life, everyone that's helped you get to this point, everyone that's encouraged you when you needed it, don't forget those people. Encourage others the way you've been encouraged. If you think of who might have had the biggest impact on you, try to be that person that has that big impact on someone else. When you pay it forward and you treat others like you want to be treated and you do your best, not only does someone else benefit, but you will benefit more than you could possibly know. It'll make you a better person. So please remember that. I toured the Toyota factory plant, and I'm going to leave you with one last quote. And on the wall of the Toyota factory plant in Texas, this was last November I saw this, there was only one quote on the wall, and it said, "All progress starts outside the comfort zone." That couldn't be more true. Don't be afraid to take risks, work outside your comfort zone, and be the best person you can be. So once again, congratulations to all of you. Next, our valedictorian will come up and give their speech, Jeremy Tremblay.
Thank you. I guess I have a little bit more time than that. I guess I'll have the talk. So, well, in all seriousness, it's really great that I'm allowed to be up here. I've been given it once, possibly twice, probably not, in a lifetime chance, so I'm not going to throw away this shot. But in all honesty, there's no way I or any of us would be up here today without the help of someone. Our parents, our teachers, or even just a friend that made you feel like you should keep going. If there was a surprise disease test after this, we'd all test positive for senioritis. And I actually love how that's an autocorrectable word. To be honest, I didn't think I'd get up here. No, I'm not talking about this podium, but actually graduating. It's terrifying. This thing that has been talked about your entire life, but always in the background because it was so far away. Now it's here, and I was left thinking, now what? But I didn't like that sinking terror. I didn't like that sinking terror that came along with that odd, empty feeling. So I changed it. Bear with me. Your body intakes raw motion, and your brain interprets it. Like you put your hand on the stove, and your brain thinks, this temperature has greatly exceeded the safe value. Let's pull it away and say it's dangerous. Okay, well, actually, it's instincts that do that, but just play along, okay? So once you realize that you can interpret your feelings, you can really take charge of your life. That feeling I mentioned a little while ago, I morphed it into anxious excitement. No longer is it, oh God, now what? It's, oh yeah, what's next? There's a million things I haven't done, so let's get started. If I may, a quote. According to all known laws of aviation, There is no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are far too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. The Bee Movie, 2007. Over the years, I've heard from a few of you, no one expected you to do well or even make it here. You know that one person that doubted you, that thought they knew better, but also knew of so many others that believed in you. So, day after day, you got yourself out of bed, onto that bus, and into your classroom or shop. And gosh darn, I gotta commemorate you for it. You didn't care what others thought was impossible. You just flew anyway. And on the topic of showing up, I'd like to share with you all my favorite award. You see this? Oh, I got you. For all of you who can't see, it's my participation award. Yeah. What's this doing here? Why does he have that? Well, it's the only one that showed up. And it's able to tell its story because it showed up. I don't care what I have at home because though they actually did something, they can't do anything if they don't show up. And by showing up, I don't mean physically being there, but also mentally. To show up is to participate. And to participate, you have to actively be involved in what you're doing. So it doesn't really matter what you do. I'm just glad that you showed up. And if you show up, you can do whatever you want. In our case, we got to choose our shops and choose our future. Though some of us may not stay in our areas, that's totally fine. We still get to choose what we move into. But why do we want to? Well, personally, because it's cool. But whatever your motivation is, it's yours. Let it drive you. You're not on rails, but a road. So, no one told you life was going to be this way. Hey. And that's because there is no one way. For you, there is only your way. Do whatever makes you the happiest, most fulfilled, or most gamer. Thank you. And I know this doesn't have much bearing on right now, but one final thing, it's trembly, not trombly.
Nice job, Jeremy. And now we know it's Trembly. We'll get that right going forward. Next up, our class salutatorian, Jason Malowin.
Thank you, Mr. Duda. Every morning for the past 2 years, I would walk into math class with Mrs. Anderson. And for whatever reason, instead of saying good morning to her, I would instead say good evening. I'm still not quite sure why I felt so inclined to do so. But I guess it was just a little razzle-dazzle that would make the rest of the day just a little bit more exciting. For a while, at least once a week, she would remind me that it wasn't evening, and that it was in fact actually 9 o'clock in the morning. But the days continued to pass by, and I continued to say it. I was persistent, and so as more and more mornings passed by, and more good evenings were spoken, I believe that slowly, she started to give up. And so soon, I wasn't the only one saying good evening anymore, because she joined me. Soon, the best part about going to that class was the anticipation of the greeting, because I knew that it wasn't going to be like all the other normal greetings that I experienced throughout the day. To all of the other teachers that I've said good morning or good afternoon to over the years, I'm really sorry. Because what Mrs. Anderson and I shared there was really special. It made learning calculus for the rest of the class just a little bit easier. And so, I'm sure you can imagine just how exciting this moment is for me. Because here we all are, all this time later, the sun is going down, and there isn't a more fitting time for me to be able to say these words just one last time. Good evening. While I'm up here, I would like to take a few moments to thank everyone who's able to make it out here tonight to celebrate such an important milestone in our lives. Whether the contributions were big or small, all of you in one way or another are part of the reason that our class is able to share this special moment tonight. I want to offer a huge thank you to all of the other parents and family members who are here tonight and who have continued to support us. Because without all of you, not only would we have never made it this far, but we also wouldn't be here, literally. I speak to all parents and guardians when I say that I hope we as a class always remember all the sacrifices you made for us over the years as you continue to believe in us. I'd also like to recognize all of the teachers here, both past and present, who have helped shape Pathfinder's identity. And you come to work every day with the mindset that it's more than just a job. So many of you go out of your way to set us in the image of our school up for success. You are the engines behind everything that goes on at the school, behind everything that goes into creating role models, and behind everything that goes into first breaking us down and then building us back up into champions. I know that some people really like candles, and they collect them. Well, it's been said that a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. And personally, I'm not a big fan of candles, but I've got to hand it to all the teachers here. You are by far some of my favorite candles. To all the other teachers and family members who are here today, and to all the other ones that weren't able to make it, it's hard to believe that the ceremony will last just 1 hour. Because what's invisible right now are all the long days and evenings over the years we have spent alongside you in our journeys as we prepared for this moment and what lies beyond it. Finally, I would like to thank members of the Pathfinder administration who have continued to support us in everything we do. And they've always been supportive of our student activities and organizations. They drastically improve the quality of student life here, and I couldn't be any more thankful for them. It's both an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to speak in front of all of you this evening, and more importantly, to be tasked with the opportunity to make this special moment in time perhaps just a little bit more special. My fellow graduates, as we say goodbye for the final time, my wish for you is that there will be many moments of satisfaction and happiness in your life. And since this is only the beginning of our journeys, I hope that I can provide you with one of your first satisfactions of post-high school life. Because I've learned over time that one of the greatest thrills that a speaker can give to a group of people is the moment that a speech ends. And so when this speech ends in approximately 7 minutes and 26 seconds from now, I hope you'll appreciate knowing that this happy moment in your life will be among only the first in a series of happy moments to come. Time is always running out. It's not always easy to move on from our past, and it is never easy to say goodbye. It seems like it was just yesterday that I was sitting at home playing with my little toy trains. One day, my mom walked in, and she seemed to be in really deep thought as she stood there watching me play with these little toy trains. At first, she didn't say anything, but you could tell that she was getting ready to give me one of those inspiring life lessons that all mothers teach to their children from time to time. I'll always remember it. I was sitting on the floor with Thomas the train in one hand and Harold the helicopter in the other. I had my Spider-Man pajamas on, and she looked at me and she said, "Jason, grow up, you're graduating next week." There are always moments in our childhood that we remember vividly, and this was certainly one of those moments for me. I learned many new things that day. And so I put Thomas the train down, and I put Harold the helicopter down, and I just kind of did what I always did, which was to pretend that nothing happened. It can be difficult to move on. I feel like I should still be back in 10th grade English class with Miss Kunis. Because my time here, she's become one of my greatest influences. I'm proud to call myself a passionate writer because of her. And while I may not have appreciated how critical she was of me of my writing in the beginning, I have to say that I really do miss seeing all those red pen marks scattered across my paper. Across my 4 years, no teacher ever pushed me harder than Mrs. Yerkunis did. And it was in these times when I had to learn that the work just can't always be perfect. It was really humbling to know that. She actually offered to help me edit my graduation speech, and unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to get it over to her. But I hope that after I'm done speaking today, she'll still look it over and critique it. It'll be just like good old times. As sophomores, she liked to refer to us as the wise fools. And I really miss having that coveted title. Some of my worst and greatest memories at Pathfinder come from her class. I'm sure that at least some of you share this experience with me. One thing that I won't miss about Mrs. Yerkunis' class are the long written tests that she gave. They were so long that by the time you'd finish, you would have written an entire book. Some of my finished tests were in the range of 15 written pages. And a lot of us would stay after almost every test because there was no way we could finish in the 2 60-minute class periods we were usually given. For some of us, it was a full-time job. And we would be after school for multiple days in a row until it was finally finished. Might have been the last thing we wanted to do, but I know that I'll be forever grateful for it because it has made me a better writer and it has made me a better student. You know, we learned a lot of fun words in that class too. We learned words like cantankerous and troglodyte and other silly words that I can't think of right now. Soon, all of us in that class began to speak our own language. Because while everyone else in the school spoke normal English, we were stuck in the past, walking around talking about old English words that no one knew about. Not because we were ever going to apply them, but because we thought they sounded funny. This is exactly why we were called the Wise Fools. I'm glad for just one day longer, I can pretend to be one. I was talking to Mrs. Yerkunis yesterday after rehearsal, and she looked at me, and she asked me what the theme to my speech was. And I couldn't tell her what it was, and I said that she'd have to wait until today to listen. She didn't seem satisfied with that answer. And she goes, "Yeah, well, okay. Then Jason, what is your single most favorite word in your speech?" Normally, that could be a difficult question, but I knew right away. And when I replied with the word troglodyte, you have no idea how excited she was. Mrs. Yerkunis, you were always someone that we could talk to, and your door was always open. And I knew that if I ever needed someone to talk to, you were always just a few steps away. There was a long period of time where I went to your room every morning before first period, and we talked about all sorts of things. Sometimes serious, sometimes not so serious. You created lasting memories, and I'm sad to say that we must all leave the place where we were once your little wise fools. Times like today remind us that it can be difficult to leave behind all those things that we have grown up with and to move on to a new lifestyle, to put down the train and perhaps stop saying silly words just because they're funny. But today also reminds us that time doesn't ever slow down and that there's no time to wait. Just like the time in this speech is running out, which I'm sure you're all happy of at this point, so too is our time to make a difference. I hope that somewhere within all of your happy moments, or even in the difficult or challenging ones, you want to do something, whether it be big or small, to change the world. It's as important to remember the train, the little things in your childhood that made you the person that you are today, as it is to ride the train, to take a journey and strive to make an impact. In a world that is advancing so quickly, trying to be a part of it can be very intimidating. There's a quote by an unknown author, and it reads, "If you think you're too small to be effective, you have never been in bed with a mosquito." Sometimes the best we can do just won't be good enough. Don't let that discourage you. Elon Musk said that you must continue on, even if the odds are not in your favor. And he meant that the long road to success, more often than not, begins with failure. When people think they've failed, a lot of them give up, forgetting that their future, or their failure rather, is an invitation for them to learn. and is often necessary for them to create the best result. Sometimes, creating the best result means starting with the little things. Sometimes the little things can be as simple as making your bed, and it can go a longer way than you might expect. Admiral William H. McRaven, who last served as the 9th Commander of the United States Special Operations from August 8, 2011 to August 28, 2014, said in a speech that if you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And the made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. Admiral McRaven's message is a simple message, but every great story and every great accomplishment must start with a simple foundation. When you do graduate from making your bed, and you achieve everything you thought you've ever hoped for, please don't ever become complacent. I'll always remember my sophomore year, which was the first year I was a member of Skills USA, when I attended the Skills USA State Leadership and Skills Conference. And on Friday night, after all the competitions were done, we went out to dinner, which as of recent has been a tradition every year. And I first want to thank the administration here for making that happen for us every year. We really do appreciate it, especially after such a long day of competing. We were in a mall-type setting. There's probably about 15 of us students there, all waiting to get our food. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm starts going off. What happened next was actually kind of surprising. Everyone just sat there and acted like it was completely normal. Every single person that wasn't from Pathfinder pretended like nothing was happening. Mr. Duda was there that night, and he didn't take any chances. He quickly had all the Pathfinder students evacuate and stand outside until the fire alarms were turned off. Now, people probably thought that we were completely crazy, and it actually did turn out that there was no fire and everything was all right. But I'll never forget what he said to us. We were all standing outside, and he said, "Don't ever be complacent." And that has always stuck with me, because it's really important. Sure, there was no fire, but what if there had been some sort of toxic gas, or some sort of other emergency that wasn't immediately apparent? Complacency is what leads us to some of the world's greatest disasters. And it's the things, sometimes even the little things, that we don't think about that always get the best of us. We must always be ready to take charge and be leaders. This year, 2 years later, in my third attempt at Skills USA, I was fortunate enough to become a Massachusetts champion. And I will finally move on to the National Leadership and Skills Conference later this month in Kentucky. Now, unfortunately, I won't be taking a train to get there, because after last week's episode, they advised against it. They thought I've had enough fun with trains for the time being. But I'm excited to say that I will represent Pathfinder and hopefully earn the state of Massachusetts and our school the national recognition it deserves. You see, part of avoiding complacency also means that success is never final. Always ask yourself, how can I do this better? What can I get paid to do what I would pay to do? Remember that ordinary people do extraordinary things every day. They do it by always giving 100% of themselves. Recognize that sometimes doing extraordinary things means building relationships and taking the train journey with others. They always say that we're better together, that we all need someone in our lives to push us further than we would have ever been able to travel alone. One of the most important parts of being great at anything, being a great worker, being a great student, being a great partner, being a great competitor, or being a great leader, is to have someone that makes you humble, someone that challenges you just as much as you challenge them, and to work alongside someone that makes you excited for the future. And my fellow graduates, while we prepare to store our memories of the past for another day, and while you're out on your new train journey, getting ready to change the world, even if you aren't doing it in the evening, just remember that sometimes it starts with the little things, like making your bed, and that it ends with you knowing that there's no time for us to hold back. Don't ever hold back. Sometimes that means making your speech 15 minutes long when it's supposed to be 5. But most importantly, it means don't ever give up. Maybe say good evening a few more times when it's actually morning to keep yourself amused and to make a tough day better. And if not anything else, remember that even though we are no longer wise fools, we can still be wise. Our world is dangerous. Don't ever become complacent. If we can do all of that, and if we can do that with others, then we'll have what it takes to make a difference, and we'll have exciting futures. I hope that all follow that same path. It'll serve us all the better. Congratulations, class of 2019. Thank you.
Nice job, both of you, Jeremy and Jason. Thanks for that. So another round of applause for those guys. Terrific job. Next, I'm going to formally introduce our superintendent, who will be presenting the diplomas. So, Dr. Pace, sitting behind me to your left, my right, as he said, has done this 45 times. He's been superintendent here for 45 years. Think of the year you were born, especially everybody graduating. I'm in this category as well for the year I was born. He's been here since 1974 as superintendent. That's absolutely unbelievable. Not only is it the longest serving here at the school or in the state of Massachusetts, but we believe it's probably the longest serving superintendent in the country. So we haven't seen one longer yet. So that's pretty incredible. And you think of those of you who have had parents who have graduated from here, he also gave them their diploma. So he really doesn't need an introduction, but that is the introduction. So Dr. Paste, the mic is yours.
Well, thank you for those kind words, Mr. Duda. And I have good news for you for the afternoon. I'm not going to make a speech. However, the two young men you just heard are remarkable students, and they are both headed to high-quality colleges for a career in engineering. And while I was listening to them talk and their humor, I feel sorry for the faculty of those colleges. All right, it comes time now to the award of diplomas, which is really why we're all here. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize it or not, but the career and technical education system in Massachusetts is regarded as the finest in the country. And these 125 young people are graduating from one of the best schools in one of the best states anywhere. And I think that when you look around the country and you look at the various states and the landscape and everything from the desert to the beach and so forth, we are so lucky. And I think that the communities of Pathfinder, the 9 communities that make up our district, have invested wisely, and there is really nothing better in this community to go out in the world and go out in the community and increase the economy and increase the quality of life than these 125 young people before you. And as I said, and as Mr. Duda said, we couldn't be prouder of them. Well, here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to be assisted in the diploma awards by obviously the chairman of the school committee, who will pass them out, and Brenda Turner, the director of guidance, who will assist him. And The other thing I'll say about the 125 young people up here, they're the only people in the yard who will go away here richer than when they came in. And that's not a joke. Each one of them will get a little envelope with a freshly minted 50-cent piece from the United States Mint, minted in the year that they were here, 2008, 2009. And as I said last year and the year before to the graduates, please don't spend it. Save it for your children, save it for a memento, save it so that you can pull it out and say, look at what they gave me in our graduation. And by that time, it'll probably be worth 3 cents. So, anyway, it's a Kennedy $50 that are minted every year, and it's a pleasure for us to award it again. So they're going to be getting their diploma. They're going to be getting an envelope with the 50-cent piece, and the $50 will be given out by the academic director, Dan Wally, and the vocational director, Ryan Rigi. So let's get the program on the way. Jeremy Tremblay. Jason Malawan. Corinne Latulip. Maura Mahalik. Taylor Jackman. Rachel Moran. Sherilyn Saraki. Zachary Beeman. Jack Berger. Austin Brown. Ryan Bullock. Cheyenne Champagne. Brian Kravish. Dina Davies. Jaron Deitch. Joseph Diaz. Alyssa Larson. Lucas Leclerc. Madigan Lytle. Eric McDonald. Kaylee Morse.
I'm going this way.
Nathan Varney. Hannah Sajan.
Hannah, look at the camera when you shake his hand.
Ramses Alexander. Alexis Alvarado. Luis Amoros. Desmarie Barber. Medicine Bachelor. Aiden Bolio. Evan Bolio. Tyler Bienvenu. This will take a while.
What a champion!
Bethany Blue. Athena Bruno. Nathan Carlton. Arthur Schaefer. Owen Chase. Alan Clark.
Help me!
Alexis Cody. Anthony Corshane.
Can you smile? No. Anthony, look at the camera.
Lucas Croft. Peter Sapiel.
Bumping that step, sir.
Trista Daly. Alexis Denault. Zachary Davies. Connor Dennehy. Alora DeRocher.
I like the flowers. Thank you.
Zachary Dill. Thomas Dion. Lauren Dulac. Devin Dupel. Aaron Eisner Janos. Abby Ferris. Zachary Ferrier. Jagger Forkey. Nathan Gallagher. Colby Gardner. Jake Garapi. Joe George. Joseph Giroux.
Joey.
Lucas Hamilton. Kareem Hassan. Caitlin Henrishon. Kristen Huddy. Nicolette Jackson. Michael Kelleher.
Iron Spider-Man!
Morgan Kimball. Brooklyn King. Cody Kozlik. Straight from Hawaii. Tyler Laframboise. Jonathan LeGrand. Raina Langlois. Ashley LeFay. Dustin Lemoyne. Kyle Lesage. Kylie Livernois. Autumn Lloyd. Gregory Lohr. Nathan M. Sadekwe.
Greg, look this way. Greg.
Donovan Manzaro. David Martin. Aislinn Mason. Tristan Mason. Gregory Matheson. Dana May. Zachary Mayo. Sean McGrath. William Minnie. Luke Moisio. Kaylee Moran. Alex Morley. Jack Moynihan. Connor Nevin. Tiffany Papish.
Have a girl, Cliff.
Lena Pasquini. Colin Pedigo. Mark Anthony Perez. Ryan Peralt. Judson Picard. Jacob Potter. Matthew Prescott. Zachary Reynolds. Sean Rivard. Tyler Rock. Daniel Roney. Jose Rosario Ortiz. Julia Ross Coburn. Emily Rugia. Zachary Roy. Dylan Russell. Joseph Russell. Avalon Sagan. Amanda Sakowitz. Victoria Saladiga. DeMarco Santana. Patrick Santos. Brandon Stackhouse. Avalie Strong. Jacob Segiel. Olivia Tatro. Shay Thrasher Contois. Aaron Walsh. Jocelyn Ward. Adam Warner. Jetty L. Wheeler. Molly Zajac. All right, now, graduates, listen carefully. I have to say these words. By the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Board of Elementary and Secondary Education and of the Pathfinder Regional School Committee, I now declare you graduates of Pathfinder. Hey, Jeremy Tremblay, you got to pick up all those hats. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your patience as we went through this ceremony for the graduates. A few thank yous before we leave. First of all, a round of applause for the Palmer Jazz Band from Palmer High School. And thank you for being with us again. And a round of applause for the class advisor, Vince Yakunis. And if I forgot anybody to thank, it's probably in the program, which, by the way, is a keepsake program. It is beautifully done, and it's almost yearbook quality, so please take a minute to read it when you get home. And as I said many times in the past, have a good evening, drive carefully, and please wait for the graduates to recess before we get to greet them. Thank you again, and God bless.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. But in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.